Happening now, the first presidential debate in Cleveland between sitting President Donald Trump and Democratic challenger former Vice President Joe Biden. The president's taxes, following a bombshell investigation by the New York Times, are likely to play a big role in this debate. Before the first presidential debate kicked off tonight, the Biden campaign already hinted at their strategy, releasing the former vice president and Senator Kamala Harris's 2019 tax return, drawing an even sharper contrast with President Trump's personal finances, as detailed in a stunning New York Times investigation. The Times reporting, not independently confirmed by ABC News, depicts the president struggling with tens of millions of dollars in debt, racking up huge losses from investments like his golf courses and his hotels. Those losses and questionable deductions allegedly leveraged during tax season. The president reportedly paying just $750 in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017. The Times also reporting his hit show, The Apprentice, helped keep the president afloat, earning him $197 million over the course of 16 years and millions more from endorsement deals he received because of the success of the show. President Trump now claiming he was entitled to depreciation and tax credits and saying this about the report.
It's fake news. It's totally fake news. Made up, fake.
Tonight's 90-minute debate will also feature questions about the economy, COVID-19, race, and the Supreme Court, with the president's nominee, Amy Coney Barrett, meeting with Senate Republicans on Capitol Hill today. Biden is prepared for the debate to get personal.
You're going to want to get in the mosh pit. I'm going to talk about why I want to be president of the United States.
But there's also the question of how much will this debate sway voters. According to one elections expert, at least 1.1 million ballots have already been cast in the 2020 election. We'll get a glimpse in the upcoming days if either candidate sees a polling bump after tonight. The latest ABC News and Washington Post poll shows Biden maintains a 10-point edge nationally among both registered and likely voters. Joining us tonight to help provide an early analysis of the presidential debate is Jason Perry, director of the Hinckley Institute of Politics at the University of Utah. Jason, you are a good friend of ours here at ABC4 News. Thank you for being here tonight.
So glad to be with you.
Jason, first off, what are the expectations for this debate for both President Trump and Vice President Biden? What is each nominee hoping to accomplish?
Well, essentially, I'll just start with the top. They're both expecting to win. That's what they're trying to do, is to try to prove that they are the candidate that's most well suited to lead the country through the big crisis that happens. And we're really trying to see if that's really true. It's so interesting when you have two candidates like this. And this is the very first time we get to see these two candidates side by side, face to face. This is the biggest political event in the world right now. And it's not an overstatement to say the world is watching. So the expectations for these two candidates is very, very high.
Like you said, the debate is happening as we're talking right now, so we can't go too much into the topics. However, the moderator, Chris Wallace, was planning on comparing their public service records. Does either candidate have an advantage here?
Well, in most cases, one would. But in this particular case, not so much, because both of them have such a significant record to go after. I mean, that's the reality of the thing. So I think what's going to happen right now is both of them are going to try to magnify the failures, whatever those are. And when you have candidates like this, that's just the reality. You get to go after the record. And whenever someone is in public service for this long, this is just what happens. You got a lot of things that you can go after. And I think they're going to find those individual points, and we'll get to hear about them. We'll make our own judgment as to whether or not they were successes or failures. But both of them will try to really bring out the points where they did a really good job. But for the ones they didn't, the winning candidate is going to be the one that said, well, I learned from that, whatever it was.
Mr. Wallace said that he wants to be invisible during this debate, meaning that he won't correct any factual errors from either candidate. What do you think of this approach?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think it's the best of the bad options. We've seen what had happened in years past when a moderator decided that they are to do a fact-checking on the fly. And it is really hard because the best kinds of moderators are the ones that really are stimulating the conversation.
Uh-oh, I think we're losing Jason there. Jason, you're a little bit, okay, you're back. Oh, I think you might be frozen again. Can you hear me?
No.
Okay,
Yeah, I can
okay.
hear you fine.
Sorry, the last thing that we heard from you is usually the moderator, right, steps in as somebody who likes to stimulate the conversation. That was the last thing we heard. Go ahead and pick it up from there.
Yeah, but we don't want the moderator to be the source of discussion. The reality is within 5 minutes of this debate being over, everyone in the country will start fact checking. And so we'll leave it to those folks to really do all of that. I think it's better to let the candidates go. If it becomes about the moderator, then we've really lost what this debate is all about. And there's so many topics that are going to come up. It's going to be very hard for these candidates to be checked on the fly in any event.
Yeah, it's kind of fun for the public sometimes too, to be able to gauge in that sort of fact-checking way. With just 5 weeks to go until the election, the latest ABC News and Washington Post poll finds that former Vice President Joe Biden has a double-digit lead in Pennsylvania, which is a key battleground state. So 54% of registered voters in that state said they will vote for Biden, compared to 45% who will cast their ballot for President Trump. Do you think this debate will sway any independent voters or even change some voters' minds?
It will for some. That is the reality. There's a very small percentage of people in the country right now that have not made up their minds about who they're going to vote for. But the debate is not just about that. You have to do a couple of other things. These candidates are looking to stir up their base, because it's one thing for these candidates to have someone say to support them, but they need to motivate them tonight in the other two debates also for them to actually turn in their ballots. That's big. What comes with that also is the ability to fundraise off of these events. Those are two big things that are independent of just whether or not they pick up votes. And what you said at the top of the hour in the program was exactly right. What usually happens after a debate like this, if someone does really well, is their polls go up. So whether that translates into more votes or not, we will see. But there's not a lot of people on either side that have not made up their minds.
All right, about 90 seconds left, Jason. What are you personally looking for in this debate tonight? Oh, Jason, sorry. I think we're frozen again. If you can still.
I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. This happens.
Sorry about
Everybody's
the
very understanding.
Okay.
Well, all right. What are you personally looking for in tonight's presidential debate?
The time.
Oh, Jason, you're frozen again.
Oh, boy.
It's okay. We'll get it. All right. Third time's a charm. Let's try this again.
It is. I'm looking for the candidates to present a plan. That's what's most important right now, is when you have issues like COVID-19, when you have issues like the economy, what people want to see from these candidates is an actual, legitimate, concrete plan. How are we going to get through this pandemic? When is the vaccine coming? What are the differences of opinion and approach? That's what I'm looking for. More than just political rhetoric, what is the plan?
Jason Perry, a good friend of ours, the director of the Hinckley Institute of Politics at the University of Utah. Thank you for taking time away from watching the presidential debate and talking with us tonight, being patient with all the technical issues. We always appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.